Listen, ladies, sometimes silence speaks louder than any speech you could ever give. You don't always have to tell a man how valuable you are. You show it. You live it. You become it. See, a woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't explain. She moves with peace, grace, and confidence. That energy, it's magnetic. When you stop proving yourself to a man and start being yourself, that's when he starts seeing you differently. Let me tell you something. Men pay attention to what doesn't need to be said. When you stop arguing, stop chasing, stop trying to convince him, he starts to notice. He wonders, what changed? Why is she so calm? Because calm is power. Your value shows up in how you carry yourself, in how you handle disrespect by walking away from it, in how you choose peace over drama. You're not reacting to his silence, you're responding with strength. You're not begging for his time, you're investing in your purpose. See, when you're a woman of value, you don't compete for attention, you command respect. Without saying a single word, your standards speak for you. Your boundaries speak for you. Your energy announces you before you even walk in the room. Listen, ladies, sometimes silence is the loudest statement you'll ever make. You don't have to tell a man how valuable you are. The truth is, when a woman truly understands who she is, she doesn't need to announce it. She moves differently. She walks into a room and her presence alone demands respect. See, when you know your value, you stop trying to prove it. You stop explaining why you deserve better. You stop arguing with a man to make him see what he's not ready to recognize. Because when you really know your worth, you realize that not everyone is meant to understand your value, and that's okay. The moment you stop chasing validation is the moment you start attracting admiration. A woman who's grounded in her peace, who carries herself with quiet confidence, makes a man stop and pay attention. He might not even understand why he's drawn to her, but he feels it. It's because she's not trying to convince anyone to love her. She's too busy loving herself. See, most people talk too much trying to prove they're worth something. But when you're truly valuable, you don't have to talk. You let your life speak for you. You let your discipline, your calmness, your confidence do the talking. Men notice what you don't say. They notice when you stop reacting, when you stop explaining yourself, when you no longer fight for attention, but simply walk away from what doesn't serve you. That's power. That silence hits him in a way your words never could, because now he has to sit with the space you left behind. He starts wondering why you're no longer fighting for him, why you're not texting first, why you seem so peaceful without him. That silence makes him see that your peace was the gift, not your presence. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding that your time, your energy, your emotions, they're valuable. You can't just give them to anyone who doesn't appreciate them. When you stay silent, when you don't engage in unnecessary drama, when you choose peace over proving your point, you're sending a message. I know who I am. You're showing him that you don't need validation from him because you already have it within yourself. And let me tell you, that's attractive. That's the kind of woman who stands out in a world full of noise. Every time you react out of anger, every time you try to explain your worth, you give away your power. But when you stay silent, when you walk away with your head held high, you hold your power close. You're teaching people how to treat you without saying a single word. That's what mature, confident women do. They don't yell about respect. They live in a way that demands it. The truth is, you don't have to convince a man who's meant for you. The right man will see your value without you saying a word. He'll recognize your peace, your discipline, your loyalty, your strength. But he can only see it when you stop trying to show it. You have to let him miss your energy, your presence, your calm. That's when realization hits. That's when he finally sees what he had, because you stopped trying to make him see it. So remember, silence doesn't mean weakness. It means control. It means self-respect. It means you've learned that peace is more important than proving your point. The strongest message you can ever send is to simply live your life with grace, stay focused on your growth, and let your actions speak for you. Because the truth is, when you stop trying to tell a man how valuable you are and start showing it through your peace, your distance, and your discipline, that's when he finally understands just how rare you are. When you walk with peace, you walk with power. There's something deeply attractive about a woman who doesn't get shaken by chaos, who doesn't let other people pull her out of her calm. When life throws challenges at her, she doesn't fall apart. She breathes, she prays, she moves with grace. That kind of peace doesn't mean she doesn't feel hurt or disappointment. It means she knows her emotions don't control her. And when a man sees that kind of emotional stability, he recognizes something different. He sees a woman who's not controlled by drama, but led by strength. Peace is not passive. It's powerful. It takes discipline to stay calm when someone tries to test you. It takes wisdom to stay silent when you could easily clap back. It takes self-respect to walk away instead of arguing to prove your worth. A woman who walks with peace doesn't need to compete, doesn't need to raise her voice, doesn't need to explain her decisions. She knows that peace is the language of strength. It's how you show maturity. It's how you show control. It's how you show that you're not moved by temporary emotions or someone else's behavior. When you stop reacting to chaos, it confuses people who are used to controlling you with their energy, especially a man who expects drama. When he tries to provoke a reaction and you give him calm instead, it shifts the power dynamic completely. Suddenly, he doesn't know what to do with your silence. He starts thinking, why isn't she arguing? Why isn't she chasing? Why is she so calm? That's when your peace speaks louder than words. You've just shown him that you're not emotionally available for games. You've shown him that your life has structure, that your emotions have boundaries, that your time has value. A peaceful woman changes the entire atmosphere around her. She doesn't compete for attention because she already has it from within. Her confidence is quiet, but it's undeniable. When she walks into a room, people feel her presence without her saying a word. Because peace has an energy, it's steady, soft, and strong. It's the kind of energy that makes a man realize he can't play with her. Not because she's cold, but because she's centered. Her peace tells him, I don't need you to complete me. I'm already whole. That realization makes him look at her differently. The beauty of peace is that it doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It's what you build inside you. It's knowing that you can't control everything, but you can always control yourself. You stop fighting for closure, for attention, for validation. You start letting go of what disturbs your peace. You protect your energy like it's your most valuable possession. Because it is. When a woman learns how to guard her peace, she's unstoppable. She stops being reactive and starts being intentional. She doesn't let temporary emotions destroy long-term peace. A peaceful woman is not a woman without passion or emotion. She's a woman who's learned how to direct that passion. She chooses her words carefully. She decides which battles are worth fighting. She knows when to speak and when to let silence speak for her. That's wisdom. That's the kind of peace that only comes when you've been through enough chaos to know it's not worth your soul anymore. When you carry peace, you attract people who respect it. The ones who bring drama, noise, or manipulation start to fall away naturally because they can't survive in an environment that's too calm for their chaos. And the man who's meant for you, he'll be drawn to that peace. He'll feel safe in it. Because a man might like excitement, but he falls in love with peace. So when you walk with peace, you're not losing anything. You're showing the world that your calm is your crown. Letting your boundaries talk is one of the most powerful ways to show your value without ever saying a word. You teach people how to treat you not by what you say, but by what you accept. Every time you allow someone to cross a line without consequence, you tell them that line doesn't matter. But when you stand firm, when you calmly say no or simply walk away from what doesn't align with your standards, you're sending a message louder than any speech could. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're fences that protect your peace. And when a man sees that you have those boundaries in place, he sees that you respect yourself. A woman with strong boundaries is rare because she's not afraid to lose people who disrespect her. She doesn't beg for attention, doesn't chase validation, doesn't explain her choices to those who don't deserve an explanation. When a man tries to push her limits, she doesn't get emotional, she simply steps back. That quiet confidence makes her unforgettable. It shows she's not desperate for connection. She's selective about who gets access to her world. That kind of self-control makes a man look twice because it tells him she knows her worth. Every boundary you set is a reflection of how deeply you value yourself. Saying no is not being rude, it's being clear. Walking away from inconsistency is not weakness, it's wisdom. You're telling the world, my time, my energy, my heart are not for everyone. And that message doesn't require a single word. Men notice how you handle disrespect, how you respond when they test your patience, how you act when they pull away. If you stay calm and still hold your ground, that's power. Because he realizes you won't fight for attention, you'll wait for respect. When you live with boundaries, you stop over-explaining. You no longer defend your standards. You understand that the right man won't be threatened by your limits. He'll be inspired by them. He'll see that your boundaries aren't about control, they're about protection. Protection of your peace, your happiness, your time. And the moment a man realizes you have the strength to walk away, he also realizes he has to step up to keep you. That's how respect is born, not from words, but from the consistency of your actions. Boundaries don't just tell others how to treat you. They remind you of who you are. Every time you enforce one, you reinforce your value to yourself. You prove that you're no longer settling for halfway love, for unclear intentions, for inconsistent effort. You're choosing alignment over attachment, and that choice radiates confidence. When a man senses that you're not afraid to be alone, he knows you're not operating from fear, you're operating from self-respect. That's what separates a woman who's valuable from a woman who's available. Some women think setting boundaries will push people away. But the truth is, it filters the wrong ones out and attracts the right ones in. A man who's serious about you won't be intimidated by your standards. He'll appreciate them because he'll see that you're not here to play games, you're here to build peace. The wrong man will call you difficult, but the right man will call you different. And that difference comes from how you carry yourself, how you hold your ground, and how you refuse to accept less than what you deserve. Boundaries don't need to be loud, they just need to be consistent. You don't have to announce them. Just live by them. Every time you walk away from something that doesn't honor you, you're showing your worth without speaking a single word. The man who pays attention will see it. The one who doesn't, he was never meant for you anyway, because a woman who knows her limits doesn't chase love. She attracts respect. Energy never lies. You can say all the right words, act all the right ways, but if your energy doesn't match, people will feel it, especially a man. Your energy tells your story before your mouth ever opens. When you walk with confidence, with grace, with quiet self-assurance, you don't need to demand respect. It comes naturally. A man feels that. He feels when a woman respects herself, when she's not desperate for validation, when she's at peace within. That kind of energy draws him in without effort because it's genuine. You don't chase attention, you attract it. You don't beg for love, you radiate it. Energy speaks louder than anything you can say. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you look at him without needing to prove anything, the way you stay calm when he expects a reaction. It's in your smile that says, I'm good with or without you. That energy is magnetic because it comes from knowing your worth. not from trying to convince someone else of it. When you move from a place of confidence and self-love, you don't have to manipulate or beg. You simply are. And that authenticity is what makes people respect you. You can't fake energy. A woman who's insecure can dress up, talk strong, and act confident. But if her energy says otherwise, a man will sense it. He may not understand it, but he'll feel it. Likewise, when a woman has healed, when she's learned to love herself, her energy carries peace. She doesn't chase, she doesn't compete, she doesn't overthink every little thing he does. Her energy says, I know my value, and I'm not afraid to walk away if I'm not treated right. That kind of presence changes how a man interacts with you. He realizes he can't just do the bare minimum anymore. Your energy teaches people how to treat you without you saying a single word. When you're confident, you attract respect. When you're desperate, you attract confusion. When you're peaceful, you attract stability. People respond to what they feel from you. If your energy says you're strong and secure, you'll attract people who appreciate that strength. If your energy says you're seeking validation, you'll draw people who take advantage of it. That's why it's so important to guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to it. When a man feels your energy shift, when you pull back, when you stop trying so hard, when you start focusing on yourself, he notices. That change in energy makes him think. He starts wondering what's different about you, why you're not reacting the same way, why you're not chasing anymore. He feels that power even if you never mention it. Because your energy says, I'm not waiting around, I've leveled up. That's when he realizes he can't play with your peace anymore. The most attractive energy a woman can have is calm confidence. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending she doesn't care. It's knowing she can care deeply, but still choose herself first. It's walking away with love, not bitterness. It's smiling without needing approval. That kind of energy is rare. And when a man experiences it, it stays with him. He'll remember how your presence felt, how your peace felt, how your silence spoke volumes. So the key is not to change how you talk, it's to shift what you radiate. Fill your energy with purpose, peace, and self-respect. Because when your energy says you're whole, you don't have to convince anyone of your worth. They'll feel it. That's the kind of energy that doesn't chase love, it inspires it. And once a man experiences that, he'll never forget the woman who carried herself with quiet power and unshakable peace. Distance is power. When you start pulling back from people who don't value you, that's when they start to see what you truly meant to them. Most people only realize your worth when your energy is no longer easily available. When you're always there, always answering, always giving, they start to take your presence for granted. But the moment you step back, not out of anger, but out of self-respect, that's when everything shifts. Silence and distance together speak louder than any words you could ever say. They show that you're not afraid to lose anyone who doesn't appreciate you. When a woman chooses distance, it doesn't mean she stopped caring. It means she stopped chasing. It means she's done explaining, done trying to make someone understand her heart. It means she's choosing peace over confusion, dignity over attention. That space you create isn't a punishment, it's a mirror. It forces the other person to look at themselves and realize what they've been taking for granted. And that's when the realization hits that your presence wasn't just something nice to have, it was a blessing they didn't handle right. See, when you pull back, your absence starts to teach lessons your presence couldn't. A man might ignore your words, but he can't ignore your silence. He can't ignore the empty space where your warmth used to be, the quiet where your laughter once filled the room, the peace that now replaces what used to be constant effort from your side. That distance makes him think. It creates curiosity. It makes him wonder why you're no longer chasing, no longer calling, no longer available. And that's when respect begins, because your distance shows him you value yourself enough to step away. Distance is not about giving up. It's about protecting your energy. You've learned that you can't pour from an empty cup, that you can't keep giving to someone who's not meeting you halfway. When you step back, you give yourself space to recharge, to heal, to remember who you were before you started overextending yourself. You begin to see things clearly. Who's willing to meet you in the middle and who only values you when you're convenient. That clarity is freedom. The power of distance lies in what it teaches both sides. For you, it's self-awareness. You realize that your worth was never tied to someone's attention. You see that love isn't about chasing or begging. It's about mutual effort and respect. For him, it's realization. He starts to understand that access to your energy was a privilege, not a right. He begins to see that not every woman would have been as loyal, as patient, or as giving as you were. That absence burns in a way your presence never could, because people feel your energy most when it's gone. When you distance yourself, do it with grace, not bitterness. You don't need to announce it. Just stop showing up where you're not appreciated. Stop explaining your silence. Stop defending your boundaries. Move quietly, focus on yourself, and let time do the talking. The right man will notice, and the wrong one will fade. Either way, you win. Because your peace becomes your priority, and your energy stops being wasted on those who never deserved it. Real power is when you can love someone deeply and still choose to walk away when it no longer serves your growth. That kind of strength doesn't come from ego, it comes from healing. When a woman learns that distance doesn't mean loss, it means self-respect, she becomes unstoppable. And that's when everyone who underestimated her starts to see what they lost. A woman who knew her worth long before they ever did. Your life is your message. Every move you make, every choice, every silence, it all speaks for you. You don't need to tell people who you are when your lifestyle already shows it. The way you handle pressure, the way you treat others, the way you keep going when life tries to break you. That's what defines your value. Words fade, but actions last. A woman who lives with integrity, self-respect, and purpose doesn't have to convince anyone of her worth. She becomes the evidence of it. When you focus on building yourself, healing yourself, and improving your life, you naturally show your value without ever saying a word. See, a woman who is living her truth doesn't chase validation. She doesn't talk about what she deserves. She attracts it. When you start walking in alignment with your peace and your purpose, you begin to glow differently. Your confidence grows quieter. Your energy becomes calmer, and your presence becomes heavier. You stop explaining and start showing. You let your consistency speak louder than promises. That's what real strength looks like. Not talking about change, but being the change. The life you live teaches people how to treat you. If you're constantly chasing, begging, or settling, you're teaching people that you'll tolerate less than what you deserve. But when you start prioritizing yourself, when you start keeping your standards high, when you focus on becoming better instead of bitter, you're showing everyone that you've outgrown the old version of you. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to prove anything. Your evolution is your answer. A man sees that. He sees when a woman begins to elevate her life. He notices the difference in how you carry yourself, how you move differently, how you no longer settle for emotional crumbs. That shift is magnetic. Living your message also means not allowing your pain to make you bitter. The way you handle disappointment speaks volumes. Anyone can be kind when life is easy, but it's when things get hard that your true character shows. A woman who chooses grace over revenge, who chooses peace over pettiness. She's powerful. She knows that her energy is too valuable to waste on proving points. She doesn't fight with words anymore. She fights with growth. She lets her success, her peace, her confidence tell her story. When a man sees you leveling up, not to make him jealous, but to honor yourself, he starts to realize what he lost. Because men respect results. They notice when you've stopped chasing and started building. They notice when you glow differently, when you smile without their validation, When you move like you've made peace with the past, that's how you show your value. Not through confrontation, but through transformation. Your growth is the loudest message you could ever send. You don't need to announce your plans or explain your healing. Just do the work. Let your silence and your progress speak for you. Let them see that you're not the same woman they used to know. That's the beauty of maturity. You stop seeking attention and start commanding respect. You don't post about what you're doing, you live it. You don't talk about your boundaries, you uphold them. You don't chase love, you embody it. The most powerful message you can send is becoming everything they thought you couldn't be. Keep evolving, keep learning, keep glowing. Let your peace be your loudest statement. Because when your life reflects your worth, you never have to explain it. People will see it, feel it, and remember it long after you've stopped speaking. That's what showing your value without saying a word truly means.